Good day, beautiful soul family, and welcome back to Discovery to the Miracles Beneath the Surface. All the honor and all the glory and praise goes to our Heavenly Father in King Yeshua's name. Beautiful soul family, or shedding a light, something that is dark. And not only that, but why is it coming out in such a way, in such a time? There is a reason. Beautiful soul family, I don't know what you're seeing, but my intention on doing this observation is because of the faith walk. And I would just like to show some things that I think is very intriguing, very eye-opening about him. Now, as we see, most acronyms, right, they're all capitalized. With this movie, HIM, H-I-M, in my opinion, okay, everyone has an opinion, everyone has an observation. You may see it, you may not see it. This you may find intriguing, this you may not find intriguing. But we all have an opinion, and we all have a right to bear forth our observations. Now, with this beautiful soul family, him, what I was seeing is, here I am. Now, he may not put that, okay? But what I know about an acronym is that it's all capitalized, and it does mean something. But for me, what I see is, here I am. When we see the word him, and we see in this trailer what all is happening, him is a generalization of a man, really of a person. It could be man, but mankind, a person and what they're willing to sacrifice in order to make it. Period, dot, blank, in order to be in the system. There are so many things that an awoken person is able to discern about all the different things that we were indoctrinated with. And one of those is sports. Looking into the history of sports from all the way in the past, we see that it has very violent beginnings. And as it has a violent beginning, we can only expect it to get worse. What's so interesting about this movie is what comes to mind is the inverse. So I would like to share that with you today. As I mentioned before, sports had a very violent beginning, okay? And it's not getting better. So from that, we can understand how it has actually brought us to a point of being unaware of how violent and how energy draining it can and has been. Beautiful soul family, you may not see a lot of the things that I am showing you. You may think it's a far reach, but that will be your opinion, and I'm completely fine with it. Now let's begin. Now it's so interesting as I'm putting together the different recordings that I've to put together my message, my observation, and in speaking in reference to the acronym of HIM. Now, also, my overall intention to show is the inversion aspects of righteousness and unrighteousness. And so when we look at this, we see HIM, but invert it, it's WIH. Now, WIH is woman in horror, which is so interesting. So, woman in horror is about women who are in horror films. And let me get back to where it said. It said, let me get back to it. Oops. Okay, so I thought this was interesting. So I was like, you know what? By the grace of the Most High Yah, I looked at the word him. And I was like, well, I don't want to take no credit. But I was moved to invert it, which is WIH. And that acronym means when I'm high. And it can also refer to women in horror. Now, when I think about that, yes, women in horror films, but also we're talking, now this may be a far reach, but here we go. The woman. There's two women, okay? There's of righteous and of unrighteous. There is the false church and there is the righteous church. And as we're living in this time frame, it's a true horror. And that's all I want to continue forth in that one. As we also look, as I was looking at this, as we continue to look at different aspects of this movie, which is just a trailer. So that's another thing. When you look at a trailer and you're seeing all the different things, especially as I mentioned that I had put it to the slowest speed and things were still speeding up in certain parts of the trailer, you know this movie. Okay? When we're talking about Jordan Peele, you can get a lot from his trailer and still it's only a tip of the iceberg. But let's go back to WIH. It also stands for War in Heaven. And I thought that was so interesting because as we're looking at this, as I brought out from the beginning, he has a cross, which is supposed to symbolize that he's a man of faith, okay? Or his upbringing is a man of faith. Usually when a person of this world has a cross, they are referencing to them being a Christian, them having acknowledgement of Christ, okay? And so they're bearing that on their chest, okay? Which is interesting. So I also want to show this. Now, it says the definition, let me go ahead and show this one as well. It says the definition of WIH by the Free Dictionary. And it says to give over by or as if by vow to a higher purpose. It says to make sacred by a religious rite. Okay, so throughout this movie, what are we seeing? We are seeing how he is going through a transformation. Something that in this world we'll see as sacred. The things that are seen as sacred to someone who is in the world and of the world and are rubbing shoulders with certain people, when they do humiliation rituals, when they are doing things to such a broad plane, it's like the higher they go, the more they attain to achieve, the more they want to achieve. And it's about how to get the involvement of many of people's energies